Welcome to Jumanji.
And we are back. The game is back. The game has evolved. It's the next level, literal. When it comes down to it, they did take the certain aspects of the first film that we loved, brought them back here again. However, the one thing that I just didn't feel meshed for me was the actual objectives and mission itself. I love the action sequences. I love the villain. I thought the villain was way more brutal in this one than the Van Pelt from Bobby Cannavale in the first one. So for that, like, it was fun. I enjoyed myself. But the missions, I was kind of like, okay, well, I don't feel like we're in a video game more so than we're just going through the world of Jumanji again.
I totally agree with that, because I feel like this story was more so about the characters too, and their evolution in this game, more so than the levels that they were playing.
Right.
So whereas the other one, you kind of had to mesh and be in the game, because this is the first time they're being in a video game, whereas we've already seen them play the video game. Granted, there are different sceneries, different story beats that they have to take in this video game, different levels that they have to do, but it was more so about the characters, because we got some new characters involved in the game, especially on the outside of the game and inside the game.
Danny DeVito and Danny Glover, it's funny because they're not in the movie very much, because obviously it's being played by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Kevin Hart. And I think Kevin Hart and Karen Gillan, again, crushing it in this one. Everyone else did great, but Kevin Hart and Karen Gillan were my favorite standouts of this film.
I don't want to be it.
Yes, I think that they both did such a good job in the film as well. And then Awkwafina coming into the mix, I think that she did a wonderful job, playing these characters, because you have to play a character within a character, and she did very well as well. And then, of course, bringing in, like, animals.
Yeah, bringing in all the different animals, all the different ways to die, essentially, compared to the first movie. So it's a whole new world, and seeing them go through these deaths, it's some of them are played up for laughs, like in the first one, and some of them you don't see coming. So for that, because they made it feel fresh for a sequel, I appreciated that.
Yes, I also like the way that the story flowed a little bit, because it felt like it didn't feel like they were just like, oh, we need to go back into Jumanji. Like there was something that was happening. That the reason why they went into this into Jumanji.
It does organically get you back into the game. At the same time, when you boil it down to the reason why they all had to go back into the game, you're like, well, come on, dude, like, why? So the way they got us into the game made sense, but the reason behind getting us into the game, it's like, well, you just did it to get us back into the game again.
Right, but it's like one of those instances where you you do something, you're like, I'm never doing that again, but then you kind of reminisce on the good stuff about it.
I'm never drinking like that again.
Yeah, and then you go and you drink again, or you go and you do the same thing again. You're like, why did I listen to myself? So I feel like it was kind of like that, because, the story lends itself to that.
And once again, I think they did a good job at connecting it into the world of Jumanji, whether it is the old school Jumanji, the previous Welcome to the Jungle Jumanji, or this Jumanji. They do feel all tied together with little tips of the hat here and there. And for that, I appreciate it again as a big fan of the first Jumanji. But with this movie, I do enjoy it. I do have fun with it. I do want to see another one. Like, I would actually be really interested to see where they go with this series.
I will say that it feels like it ends, but then it doesn't end, and there is a little bit like mid-credit scene, but not really.
Mid-credit, sort of.
That kind of pushes it to where you think that there could be another one.
Possibly, but either way, Henry Jackman coming back once again for the score. It was adventurous. It was fun for moments there. I thought it was Alan Silvestri. Henry Jackman, he can definitely put out different tones and different scores to make you feel differently in different movies, you know? You got your spy thrillers like Kingsman, you got your superheroes with X-Men, and then you've got Jumanji in the freaking jungle, you know, and it's very jungle-esque. Especially because they're in the desert for a lot of it, so hearing his interpretation too of the desert, very familiar to other scores, especially Alan Silvestri and Jerry Goldsmith, but he's right up there with them, man, making a good score for a fun action epic.
So for this movie, I mean, it was a lot of fun. I had fun with it, but it wasn't like groundbreaking or anything.
Not as good as the first.
I do enjoy the first one a little bit more, because it was kind of like that moment where you're like, they're bringing Jumanji back. How are they going to do it? So for me, I think I would just give it like a solid 4 out of 5. 5 because I mean it was a lot of fun. I think that this is a good, you know, holiday movie that you should take your family to and enjoy. If you enjoyed the first one, I think that you would have a lot of fun with this one.
Danny DeVito, or at least when The Rock's playing Danny DeVito, it's very over the top and very silly. Where Kevin Hart feels a little bit more grounded, like Danny Glover. So for that, it did lose me a bit in the silliness, but the action was there for the scenes that they actually accomplished those missions within the game, which I really enjoyed. I was laughing a lot of chuckles.
Yeah, it was more like a not like a gut wrenching laugh.
Yeah, definitely not crying, but it was a chuckle. I would say 4.0 out of 5. They did a great job. I can't wait to see if there is another one, which they don't need one, but if they brought it back into this world, I'd be okay with that. So what did you guys think? If you saw it, let us know down there. If not, go check it out. I think it's something to connect to the first one if you did see the first one. But you can like and subscribe.
And did the thing on our Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, start out.
All the social networking gin joints, you know where they are. Kick them the party, fuel the party, keep the party going on our Patreon. Takes the party on the road. Check out our reaction to the newest episode of The Mandalorian, available on our channel now, and we are going through the original trilogy for Better Late Than Never. You can check those out down in the description of this video or in the comment section down below. But thank you guys so much, and as always,
now it's time to say bye.
Party is over. Bye.